All right.
And we're live. Woo.
We are joined in the studios by the official Philcom and the Mr. Magic Trousers himself.
Woo.
Welcome to Pen and Blade.
Pen
Today,
and
we
blade.
are creating, unlike the description which says Skeleton Town, it is actually Skeletown. Because I think that's super clever, and I feel like Phil's fighting me on this, but I
Well,
feel like
well,
it's the most clever thing I've ever come up with.
well, technically
So,
the title is Skeleton Island, not Skeleton or
what
Skeleton
the
Town. So
And it says skeleton. It says Skeleton Island in the descript in the title. It says Skeleton Town in the description, and
does
I
it?
am firmly like married to the idea of Skeletown being the name of the town because I
Well,
mean,
I don't know
I,
what you mean with Skeleton Town in the description. It's definitely saying Skeleton Island if you reload the page. Um,
okay. Well, I might just take a screenshot. Ching. All right.
uh,
So, Will, you were pretty excited about this idea, if I recall
Yeah,
correctly.
who doesn't like skeletons on an island?
Ske-
I just imagine. So I did a comic book when I was at uni that was about an aardvark and a skeleton, and the skeleton wore a blazer and a Hawaiian shirt and shorts. And I've always liked skeletons, Hawaiians, sort of Hawaiian t-shirt wearing skeletons that
yeah.
are like Grim Fandango. It's all good.
Which we were thinking like this is the main theme, the only world building prompt we have so far is that like the skeletons are actually kind of like the good guys. They're nice
hmm.
fellows. It's a peaceful or I don't know, but yeah, they're the good guys. So I have an idea of how that might be the case, but I'm curious if either of you have already thought about this.
I would like to draw some skeletons that run like a tiki bar, or like maybe they're the proprietors of a hotel on the island.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, that sounds fabulous.
Yeah, so what I had in mind with the Island, sorry, is like they're the good, the good guys on that island. Like they're not offensive or anything. They don't attack anyone on sight. So I thought a bit about how this could work. And I don't want to actually bring like a magical artifact into this because then it would be like, yeah, okay, but if the magical artifact wouldn't be there, then uh, they're bad, right? And yeah, so for some reason, this island, the people there, when they die, they become skeletons. So they get they're put into coffins under the ground, and at some point, like I don't know, like a flower from the seed, just rise again as a skeleton, and then live the rest of their life.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I thought it could be. So
Wait,
they're
what do
just
you mean
like,
the rest of their life? What
well,
do they have? They
forever.
get a second lifespan? Oh, okay,
No, no,
forever.
no.
Okay.
I mean, until they disassemble, fall apart, whatever
Or
this.
adventurers
Yeah,
show up and just destroy them.
I mean, whatever the skeleton equivalent is of stopping the heartbeat. Um,
Skeletons don't have an equivalent
Imagine if
of,
Sorry.
no,
skeletons
go
don't
on.
have an equivalent of stopping the heartbeat. Skeletons are just skeletons. I don't think there is an equivalent because stopping the heartbeat is they're dead, and a skeleton is something that you get after something has died. And there's nothing even that brings a skeleton together because like it's not got it doesn't if a skeleton didn't have like the ligaments and the muscle and the sinew and stuff, it would fall apart. It's one of the reasons why when you
Hmm.
see a skeleton in a science class, it's got loads of pins that connect all its bones together because otherwise they wouldn't hang.
I mean,
So you've thought about this.
Oh, I told you, I love skeletons. Me and skeletons go way back.
yeah, but I need to get all the way off my back for this because well they have a second life and they can die again. So yeah, and if they die, then yeah, then that's it. Or if they fall apart or whatever. So something like this, it's like a they have a second life. Also, hello there, Hyenox. Um, General
Hey, what's
Hyenox.
up?
Um,
Hey, hey.
yeah, so they have kind of second life. They can die again if it's dying or if it's the skeleton equivalent of it. And yeah, then they're gone for good. Otherwise, there would be an overpopulation of skeletons on that island very, very quickly. So I
Well,
thought,
that's the thing, though. Skeletons don't reproduce,
yeah, but the humans
and they
do
don't.
because they become skeletons when they
Oh, so
die,
they
right?
work to get that. Oh, I thought the humans were living on like a separate island for some reason.
No, that
And they
so
like bring
I
their dead to this island
I,
to
I
be
had
buried.
I had my idea for this. So basically, the humans died out. There were no humans to reproduce anymore. So the skeletons became just 100% of the population. So that means that this little island is
Oh my
doomed in its
goodness.
population. So the skeletons they will eventually die from something, right? So they're not gonna get bigger; they're only getting smaller. So they're getting a bit more desperate
Okay.
in what they do. So I'm not sure what they are seeking. I don't think they seek danger or anything. Maybe they seek gold. Maybe they're like massive loot hoarders. So if you come to that island, they're like these huge vaults with all that loot in it that they just hoard. They just buy off everything they can from other people, and I don't know. They could be miners in their normal lives. Um, yeah, and then it's like a normal island.
So
Like
the
yeah,
question is though, why would they have a job like mining?
um, well, they need to pay taxes to the skeleton
Oh,
town
do they
lords.
now? Oh,
I mean,
but I mean, like,
yeah.
okay, so I guess they can still be like put in jail or killed or something, so they're not like completely just immune to any form of punishment.
I mean,
So they don't
they're
have to eat,
yeah.
right? So
Um,
they can.
no, but it's like a running gag there that they have restaurants and then they just shove it in their mouth and it just falls out and it's like their favorite thing to do in their free time just to mock like living beings, you know. Um,
Well, these guys don't sound very nice at all.
I mean they are nice, but you know they make jokes sometimes, you know, like about these fleshy things that live on the other islands that are
Mm.
vastly inferior to them, of course. Even though that
Well,
if you like push a skeleton down the stairs, he will not stand up again. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's so vastly superior, but yeah, I thought it was a funny idea, like that they had this
well,
running gag there, and sometimes they also like go to bars and drink beer and just like sips through them, and it's like, ha ha ha, ha, I'm a human, and stuff like this.
so if this was the case that anyone buried on this island then comes back to life as a skeleton,
Mm.
I would imagine that instead of having like laborers, this would be all like the rich and elite who are like, like it would cost a lot of money to be buried on that island.
Oh, fuck's sake. Ah,
Huh.
sorry. Well, like that. I'm so sorry. That's really annoying. I've just, you do a thing on a thing, and it does it wrong.
What just happened? I am not following. That was
Nope.
Basically, I was just doing a little bit of, I'll do a little bit of I'll finish off my guy, and I was just drawing, and then
oh
I
no.
didn't realize I smudged a thing as I was exiting Procreate, and it doesn't keep a copy of your history.
Oh no.
Mm.
That's so annoying. Is this the pirate you were working on?
No, it's still the Viking actually. I just was doing some shading on it.
Oh,
Nice.
I was just
yeah,
exiting
that's
out
right.
after doing the skeleton, and then it went, nah. Right, okay, now I
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
that's shit. I hate when it happens.
is a
All
All
right.
right.
But yeah, so I don't know. It actually could be an interesting idea that only the elite lives on that island. Um,
I'm just imagining like let's say this started to happen, how would a fantasy union react? 'Cause it seems like it would be a super powerful resource. Or else you could have like a skeleton army, which is probably better than a regular army because they can
Mm-hmm.
do all sorts of weird stuff that humans couldn't do and not like I don't know, probably have a higher pain tolerance and all sorts of stuff. Breathe underwater or not have to breathe, so I can like so so yeah, I feel like this would end up being like almost like an untapped resource if it was reliable.
I mean, then they would have to invade it because the rich obviously don't want other people to uh, like take advantage of this, right? Like they want to stay with the rich there.
I mean, I guess I would just think that someone would want to exploit it. So if
I
someone can
mean,
own the island, they can charge whatever price they want to have people stay there.
I mean, maybe that's the union's interest. Like they want to buy that island because the rich they don't want them on the island, like just bury their soldiers or whatever. But yeah, that's why the union maybe tried to buy that island, but they can't because well they still don't want to. And what would they do with the money, right? Like they're already rich, so they don't really
You know,
care.
so the union has rules about like just conquering places, I guess.
Yes, so they cannot just invade. If they could buy it or they make an alliance, but they cannot just take it
Okay.
over. No. Um.
So Skeleton is like its own like independent republic kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a an afterlife pleasure island. So the rich go there, they buy their spot there, and after they die, they go there, and then they have like a like okay, now we're done with life, so we have the second one, which is super fun. And then they spend all their money there. And oh, I actually just got an idea. So maybe you have the slums of this island. The slums are basically the people who went there hundreds of years ago. They bought their place, but they spent all their money. So now they're poor.
Oh, interesting. All
Yeah,
right,
and
I'm drawing a slum skelly.
I
It's a
think the
slum
idea is
skelly with
like,
a
like I could imagine like the rich one being like, "Oh, you're poor, go get out" or something. I mean, you still bought your spot, so you're allowed to stay here, but you're not gonna like feast with us and like the mocking feast and stuff like this. Um,
Shame, man.
hmm, interesting.
Okay. So you've got your what's it called? Your like skeleton ghettos. Then you've got the like main area where it's going to be rich folk, and there's probably a big disparity between poor and rich.
Oh
And there's
yeah.
probably more poor people grow. So I could see a revolution starting to formulate under these conditions. And that could be a cool adventure hook where you actually are joining the skeleton revolution against the oppressive rich skeletons, and you team up with the and you could actually play as skeletons if you were doing this as a
Oh.
campaign with players,
So
and
you
you could
were
have
rich ones or
you would be poor ones leading the revolution against the rich
no, I
ones.
mean
That's what
like
I
you
would think.
that would mean the players were rich at one point. They became
At
poor
one point, yeah,
and
it's true.
okay,
And then
interesting.
there probably would be natives of the island too, like the original
Ooh,
skeleton people, but they're like ancient and like much more like mystical, I would
I
think.
like it. Will, you were
That's
saying
cool.
something.
Monkey Island 2 starts off, your character like completes the first game and wins and gets loads of treasure. And so the second game starts off with him being like, "Oh, I've got loads of money. This is amazing," and then he loses it all immediately and he gets robbed. And it kind of builds it in. It builds the
Oh,
first game into the second one, which is cool. I think it turns out it's LeChuck that's robbed you anyway. I love that game. It's so good.
wait, who?
LeChuck, the evil pirate LeChuck. It's
Oh, this is from like a pre-created campaign.
yeah, no, it's a video game. It's Monkey Island.
Oh, Monkey Island. I've heard of that. Okay, cool. Oh, that's sick. No, that would be cool. It would be fun to play a first campaign as a very wealthy skeleton. I don't know what that would do exactly, but I'm into the prompt.
I feel like at this point we're just like making up a normal campaign but replacing every faction with skeletons.
It's like a Mad Libs or something.
That's true.
Like just imagine this could be a normal hook but with humans and gnomes or whatever. But instead they're all skeletons.
Yeah.
So
Like
Well,
we could do an Instagram channel that's like lazy campaigner. You know, you get those like what they call like storybook or something, where it's like you walk into a village and everybody's been eaten by a whale. Like it's something really cool, and oh, I want to explore this.
yeah.
We do ones that are just really lazy. Like whatever campaign you want to do, everyone's a skeleton, or like
Everyone's a skeleton.
at some
That's
point,
so
at some
good.
point, we need to create the Fallen Gods Island. Bit of background: it was a campaign I wanted to start, and I just couldn't figure out how to make it work really. So the hook was that you were all gods from pantheons, and the people stopped believing in you because you were doing some shitty stuff. So they were breaking down the pantheons, and basically the gods fell to the ground. And now they live as humans, and humans still hate them. So you really have to disguise yourself. And the hook was that, well, you're human, but you have one of your godly superpowers still. But you cannot show them because then
Mm,
people would just hunt you again. Like they broke the circle of gods once, so they would do it again if they see someone being god. So I thought that was a really nice hook. Like you have these godly powers, but you cannot use them, and it would have been so funny, I think. And then giving the gods like different character traits, like, but these gods really want to
it
show
does
off,
sound
you
cool.
know, like they really want to show their power. They really have to restrain themselves not to, on stuff like this. And
That's
at
a cool hook.
yeah, at some point we have to do that island because I really wanna make this. I still think this idea is super cool. Like the players being like ex gods. Um,
that does
That
sound fun.
sounds fun.
Or
yeah.
someone else they did a campaign like that where they were ex gods and they had some remnant of their power. I don't know. Maybe if you've mentioned it to me before, and I'm just thinking of that. It's a cool idea. I'd be well up for that because it's like it's a really neat hook that you've got these abilities and they're powerful, but you can't really use them. Like you can use them absolutely. It's like a nuclear weapon or something. It's like yeah, you go ahead, absolutely, fire it if you want to, see what happens. It's not just
Hmm.
so simple. It's really cool. I'd love to play that.
Yeah.
Is it? Would it be from like you choose a god from any pantheon, you make up whatever you want, or is it from an existing sort of selection?
No, so the hook that I wrote was basically make up your own god with your own superpowers, with your own character traits, with your own history, and we will somehow integrate it into one big family. Um,
What were examples of like the powers?
um, I just have to think. I don't think I got the character submissions for that, like what the players wanted, and I think Will, I invited you. That's why you think of that. I think. Um,
Yeah,
but
no, we did. Yeah, because yeah, we did.
yeah,
Did I think
yes.
it
And I
Yeah,
just wasn't able to figure out like a nice way to do it, but now I have help. So at some point, um, but there was one. I just tried to remember what he was. He told me his idea, and it was super cool. Wait, do I have it on? No, I don't have it on WhatsApp because it wasn't a real life conversation. Anyway, there were some really cool ideas and they're really creative. Like you would think that people would just like straight up copy like the existing pantheon gods, but no, they were
Hmm.
actually being quite creative. Um, like one person I remember, the person had a bow that could shoot through walls. But
Okay.
every time she does that, like the arrow flashes like a flare, you know. And
Okay.
so they would exactly know which person shot it, or at least where the person came from, because it was shot through the wall, and only one wall passed, so you cannot shoot through a wall twice. It has to be once, so they know. Okay,
Okay.
it's the person is behind that thing, and it's probably God because well, it's a fucking bow that shoots through walls. So, um, yeah, that was one I remember. And then there was what was that idea? That was a really good one. I don't remember it. I would need to look again. But yeah, or ask again.
What would be the deity of Skeleton Island?
The what? Sorry.
What could that be? Like the deity, like the god of Skeleton Island.
There would be Skeletor. Um, um,
Actually, he goes by Skeletron now. I don't know if you're aware.
Skeletron.
For the Skeletor from the Discord, he is now Skeletron.
Ah, okay.
But
Interesting.
We're talking about all the bad guy of He-Man.
hmm?
The He-Man's bad guy, Skeletor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such an epic villain, but like I love that the name was given like zero thought,
Yeah.
Oh, this is a
but it
skeleton.
stuck for
Let's
years.
change the last letter of it. All right, now we have Skeletov, Skeletor, two.
Yeah, let's just
No,
yeah.
Skeletor sounds good.
Skeletal is great.
No, it's Skeletor A, Skeletor B, Skeletor C, Skeletor D.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, back to the original question. What would the god be of this island? So maybe that could be the god to create the curse or the spell that made them skeletons, gave them a second chance of life. Um,
Yeah. Okay, so like what if he's the one of maybe the like why would he want to give them a second chance at life? And what's his deal? That's what I'm kind of wondering.
well, he's a god, so maybe he just wanted to do it for fun. Like see how the humans would react if they don't die.
They just react by going like, oh look, I can drink like water and stuff, and it falls through me, and just run around being rich.
Now, I have you seen Thor 3, the new one? No, it was Thor
No.
4, sorry. The so
Nope.
there's Gore the God Butcher, really
Oh,
well
wait, no,
played
I can't
character.
mute you. Mute you because I'm talking about this before. I can't hear this. No.
Sorry again.
Will's having some difficulties today, man. Hold on, I think he wants to hear the Thor story.
No,
But
no,
he
no.
got
I'm
disconnected.
not here the full
Oh.
story because I want to go see it at the cinema. So I'm just trying to mute you, but I can't.
Oh, this okay, okay.
I
All
don't wanna.
right.
I wouldn't
Can
want to
you
spoiler you if you still want to see it.
I can go out the room and come back in a minute if you want to talk about it.
No, no, it's okay.
No, they're not. But the basic idea is that all the gods are assholes and he wants to kill them, which is
Mm.
not true, but yeah, kinda, right? Because he had one bad experience, or maybe two or three. And here I could imagine it being similar. So this god was just an asshole. He was not. It's like the people were like, "Oh my god, he gave us a blessing," but he was just like, "Oh my god, what? I really want to know how humans would react if they don't die the first time. Like they're like, oh my god, final rest, and then they don't have final rest." Like he really just wanted to toy with them, like see how they would
Can
react.
this be him?
The god.
He's just some. This is a god right here that I'm drawing.
I
He's just
thought that
some.
was the slum one.
It was, but now that when you said that, I was like, this guy's face looks douchey enough to do something like that. Like he's like, this make
Yeah, and
right.
the people were, yeah, it could be, and yeah, the people were like,
Yeah,
they were first a bit shocked, and they were like, oh my god, grandma, I'll give you final rest now, and stuff like, and then she was, I'm back, woo, and everybody was a bit confused what happened, and then they must have figured out that there's a god behind this, right? Because what else? Then they started to worship the god, and the god was just whatever, and then just like pissed off to another island or something. I don't know. He was a bit annoyed because he thought he had a sheep laugh by the people just like don't know what to do with it, but they just enjoyed like having a second life, and he was like, oh my god, this is so annoying. Whatever, I go bye, do whatever you want. So maybe he was that, and now he's at another island, just doing something. I don't know what he would do, what a god would do. Probably being douchey.
What was the Will? What do you? How does this fit into your conception of the Tiki Salesman Island guys?
Um, I just like the idea of drawing a skeleton that's wearing clothes, but he's like they're not they're not they're not skeletons in the sense of the D&D monster verse. They're not the reanimated, and because kind of one of the points about skeletons, I think, is that they're not really people. It's not like it's a revenant or something, because there's different levels of undead in D&D. So like you've got a skeleton or a zombie. I think maybe a zombie is the most basic. It can't communicate at all and it can't understand things. But a skeleton,
Okay.
it can understand the languages that
Mm.
it spoke in life, but it itself can't speak because it's not got the physical capability to. And it's a kind of mindless creature, so it just wanders around. And then it advances through different levels where you get kind of varying degrees of sentience as the monsters get more powerful, and then you get like effectively the highest level of undead is a PC character that has been resurrected because they're technically an undead person
Ooh.
been resurrected. But I really like the idea that skeletons, if they are good guys, like they're I mean, imagine being a skeleton, like for real. It would be a nightmare because you wouldn't have any face, like you wouldn't like have any
Mm.
eyes, but you can still perceive
Oh.
or communicate. So like they're innately magical in a weird way, and I think they're probably going to do something that's so far away from what they would have done. And I'm just basing it on the kind of typical life of a person in the D&D universe that they don't have holidays, they don't live in the same world we do. They're more medieval
Hmm.
sort of existence. You might get someone have a holiday, but a villager isn't going to do that. So these guys have set up like a kind of a resort that's maybe for adventurers. It's for people that get lost or people that it's like a haven. So they don't charge money for attending. It's not like it's for rich people only
Hmm.
to sort of experience a moment of respite in an otherwise busy world.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think like
Interesting.
this island specifically is not the version of the D&D ones, right? I could imagine one. What was this Disney movie that was released quite recently? It was about a boy who, it was about, I think, Mexico, where the
Yeah, I know.
boy
I know which one you mean. It's
with the
about the
talking
day.
Hmm.
skeletons, and he goes into the afterlife and talks to
Oh,
the to
Encantado or something like
Encanto. Yeah,
that.
Encanto.
Encanto. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a really
I
fun
haven't
movie.
watched it, but I heard it's good.
It's I would imagine the skeletons being a bit like this, like really cartoonish, and they're uplifting, and yeah, they just enjoy their second life, but they still have the skills to talk because, well, it's a curse slash magical spell that keeps them alive. So I guess that also gave them speech ability. I don't know.
So
Don't
you pop out and you're like, "Howdy, brother! Welcome to Skeleton Island." Like
Yeah, like I
those
could
kind of vibes.
Yeah, like I could imagine like they don't charge for people coming to the island, but they charge for the people like getting the privilege of getting a second life. That I could imagine. And
So they've got tourism. I mean, okay, skeletons can still, if you're these skeletons are describing, like playing games would still be fun for them. Potentially like just talking, socializing, eating and like physical pleasures wouldn't probably do too much. But I'm thinking they could have like a solid like entertainment industry. You could have music, you could have skeleton bards, you could have parties and stuff like that. So it would actually make sense for them to encourage tourism so
yes,
that they can get more cool stuff, make money, and buy interesting things like instruments or I don't know what else would they want, or just like cool new homes and decorations.
I mean you already have to imagine they're already quite rich when they come there, so they don't necessarily
Oh
need
yeah,
all the money
that's
in
a
the
good
world.
point.
Maybe the slum people, the slum skeletons are the ones who try to make money because they gambled it over the last
Mm.
300 years or spend it. So they try to.
Ooh, they I could see that being like the Las Vegas, like a skeleton slummy Las Vegas
Oh,
where everyone goes to gamble and like it's all run by skeletons who are trying to make their money back. Um,
oh my God, yes.
uh,
That sounds
uh,
cool. Like the skeleton Las Vegas, and then it's like I don't know, like what could be like a funny skeleton moment where like something flies through them in a casino. I'm just thinking, like maybe it's like someone wins at the slot machine, and then all the coins they shoot out, and then they shoot through him, and like into the
yeah,
skeletons behind him, and then all the skeletons are like grabbing it, but they cannot really
yeah.
because their fingers are not don't have any
Oh
friction.
my
So
goodness,
this could be
imagine.
so cool. It's,
Everything's just poorly designed. It's just designed for humans without the thought of that they're actually skeletons.
I mean, probably it could be so cool.
That's great.
I love it. I love that idea of it being like really, really cartoony, that island. Like what you see in a Tom and Jerry movie. Uh,
Yeah.
this could be so cool. Now I want to make this a full campaign. Sounds cool. But what could be a campaign idea here? So the revolution is one thing, right? The slum people
Hmm.
having enough of the upper people. But since they were also once rich, they don't necessarily want other adventurers to get the same privilege. They just don't want to be in the position of power instead of the others, because
Hmm.
the others, they're not as good as them, right? So yeah, but what other campaign could there be? So maybe it's the union who sees that the people there get treated very, very poorly, like the low class skeletons, and the union doesn't stand for it, so they intervene. Maybe with with a second
Hmm.
reasoning behind the whole thing.
Yeah, that sounds like a sketchy thing a government would do.
Uh,
Um, you've also got like I could see a skeleton wanting to open up a new casino, but there's a lot of loopholes because they don't want the competition. So you have to
uh,
do a whole. It's almost like a mob. Like visiting gang leaders in the skeleton world,
mm,
and doing favors to get the permission to
yeah.
open up their new casino.
Yeah, that could work.
Ocean's 11, but with skeletons. There's our new Instagram's campaign idea. The the poor man's campaign. What is it? What
Uh,
was
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's just
wonder.
Ocean 11's, but
skeleton.
with skeletons?
Half the idea is that whatever, yeah, it's like Predator but with skeletons.
What was skeletons? That's just every single one of our ideas.
Yeah,
I just
It's just
wondered. So you remember we had this choose your own adventure thing, right? That was mildly successful. I mean, it would have been successful if we would have put more effort into it. But that aside, what if we do that on Instagram? I think that should be way easier and less time consuming, right? Just post an image with a short description, um, and then have the Instagram stories choose them between A and B or something. And then we take the first thing, the skeleton island, and then we could have like colorful little images of that island, of the casinos, of the revolution, um, and yeah, let the people decide. That could be super cool.
I dig it.
Yeah, but then we would need to put time into it, so that's kind of. uh,
Yeah, it would. I don't know what the logistics behind it would be. We'd have to figure that out. By the way, apparently, Hyenox says that it's Muerto, not Cantado, that we're thinking about.
well, the
I
movie is
remember
called
one that had
Encanto.
the. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I
maybe
I think I know what he's talking about. It's with all these. It's about like macho, Latino skeleton guys. I think.
Encanto. You sure? Encanto's an Italian version of a. With an E. Encanto. Encanto. Yeah,
Encanto is the Disney movie that I'm.
there's another one that I'm
Yeah,
sure there is
okay.
another one about the Day of the Dead that has a skeleton on it.
Yeah, I think that might be called Muerto. I think that's what
I was thinking of.
Hinox is
Yeah.
is referring to.
No,
You know,
wait,
what's over these
Encanto was
pants?
the That was the one with the talking house, or not the talking house, the living house, right? That okay, sorry. So many Disney movies.
It's Coco.
It's incredible how many movies they can
Coco.
come out with. Oh, I did see that one.
Coco,
Yeah,
yes. That one. Right.
Coco.
Yeah, that one was so fun. I love that movie. It's so uplifting somehow. Um, I don't know. I love Disney movies. Um,
Yeah, no, they I have mixed feelings about Disney, so I don't even know what to say right now.
okay.
So I'll just stop. So I'm giving this guy a sword because I like swords. I don't
All
know
right. Do we
why he would
wanna
have a sword.
do we wanna switch to Will and see what he's up to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. All right, how do I do this? Let me stop my screen share and then hopefully it'll just let you do that.
And then I go to Zoom and I do a screen share and I share my screen. Yes, I'm drawing a skeleton that's pointing his hands as if to say,
Hey,
"Welcome." I think he's
Oh.
having
One thing that I
it's
could imagine, like that could look very funny on the skeleton, is like like if you have like clothes, right? Like they
Mm.
measure your arm, they don't measure your skeleton. So their clothes would look ridiculous because well, the skeleton inside is just not made for these clothes. So there's a like super loose. For example, one thing that I could imagine, they have a belt and it gets stuck in between a rib or something, and they don't even realize it. Stuff like this. So, or no, a tie could look very cool like this, like stuck in the ribs somewhere.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking about the way that it hangs off the what's it called? These bits, the hips. But yeah, that's cool. We could do that.
They're like tucked
Uh,
into the hip, to hold up.
yeah. Like he's folded it around his bones or something. Yeah, let's see if we do a tie. I mean, it's all very rough still. Tie.
I feel like our skeleton guys could definitely be friends.
Yeah, they're kind of similar looking, aren't they? I should do a little pose. Have his tie and the tie's stuck in, maybe.
And then, of course, the tie is also a bit longer than it should be, or it looks at least, because, well, it wasn't made for skeletons. So, this is so
Yeah,
funny.
it's like
This is
poking
so
out of it.
funny. I want to make this. This sounds like such a cool, like, little, like, maybe 2 shot, 3 shot, like, 3 session thing. Like, just very cartoony, very uplifting, very hilarious.
What would be the mechanics of playing a skeleton? Like, would they get special racial abilities and things like that?
You can't run too fast. Um,
Oh,
um, you have to drink even though it doesn't matter, but it's like a joke, right? So they have to do it to fit into the group.
okay.
They what else? They can use their arm for special bonus attack, so they can rip it off and then just hit something with it, and then they realize they can't attach it anymore. So they wear it on the back, like a
Okay.
sword. They cannot use too heavy
That's a cool
weapons.
theme for I was just gonna say that would be a great theme for a warrior who's got the like a two-handed weapon type warrior, but his two-handed weapon or no, it'd have to be one arm. Never mind, one-handed, and then his other hand arm is the weapon. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, he cannot lift anything heavy or any heavy weapons. That's why he uses his arm, because well, he doesn't have any muscles. Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm just thinking he has to loop his joints every once in a while because there's no stuff in between anymore. So they have like a special skeleton cream, and it's like they have to
Oh
put it over
man,
all the joints. Um,
dude, it kind of sounds kind of sucky to be a skeleton. Now that you
I mean that they got catfished a bit, right? Like, I mean that's what the god was all about,
yeah.
right? Like he was like, let's see how they react to it, and then they just liked it at the beginning, but you don't know how they like it after 300 years. Um,
Mm.
And what else? What else?
Spoiler alert, they don't.
They cannot run because the shoes they wear are super loose because, well, no muscles or anything. So if they walk too fast, the shoes might get in the way of them running. Um,
Wouldn't they just not wear shoes?
I was just thinking that, yeah, you wouldn't wear shoes, would you? Because you haven't got any skin. So
I mean,
Oh
they're
no,
trying to
but
be
they have
like
to
normal.
fit in.
Yeah, right. They have to
Yeah.
like wear normal clothes, right? So why would they wear clothes then?
It's trending.
has there got some dignity? I don't know.
Hmm?
Uh,
um, yeah. Then there is the. What else? What else? This is super fun to like design the mechanics around the skeleton because it sounds all like disadvantages for some reason.
No, I
You
mean,
know,
but I
like the
would think that they'd at least have like some kind of damage resistances or like
yeah, they
so.
do. Like they
eh,
don't die that easily. Um, they have a bit higher health pool. Um, yeah, but they only can attack with their own arm because that's the only thing they can really uplift. I mean, or maybe also knife that also works. But anything too heavy, they would just like they couldn't lift it. Um, yeah, can they swim underwater?
Well, I mean, if they can't lift anything heavier than a knife, then I feel like they probably couldn't. But my idea of skeletons is that they have some kind of magical strength. Because obviously they're magical on some level.
Well, yeah,
So I didn't think
but
that the biomechanics would play a big factor in
um,
their ability to do things.
I mean, the god didn't want them to have fun, right? So, they don't have this
That's
ability
rude.
to, like I said, it's a dick. Um, but yeah,
Okay, that explains it.
yeah, and that's basically it. They don't have to sleep. That's cool. They can just so they can they no they don't have any magical powers. But they can refill their health without sleeping every 8 hours. So it's just healed, if you
That makes
will it.
sense.
Um,
it,
Sorry.
I mean,
No,
so it needs to
go.
express. Figuring out how I can draw the eyes for this guy, so we can put eyes, like this and stuff. But say it's just got normal kind of skeleton-y like holes. So sort of got holes where his eyeballs were. Obviously, he doesn't have any eyes, but he could have these big holes where his eyes were, and then they draw on the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh my god! No, 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 no. They put like fake eyes in them, like glass eyes or something.
Oh,
And then they also draw on the eyebrows, and they also draw on the beard or something.
oh, that's fucking weird.
But it's their social standard, so it's not weird for them. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, they
Mm.
used to be human, but I guess
yeah.
humans are weird, so they should know that they're being weird on some level. You reminded me that my idea for why skeletons would be potentially the good guys. Before we started this stream, I had the idea of like skeletons don't. If you're looking at like the current day and age, and like humans are kind of putting a strain on the natural resources and wilderness and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, skeletons don't need to eat or do
Right.
anything like build stuff or use any resources. So it actually is like more, what is it, environmentally sound to be a skeleton. So
Well,
then in this world, the skeletons are actually like the um, you know uh, not social justice, but like environmental justice people.
they still shower.
They don't need to,
They
though.
don't
I
need
mean,
to.
that's
They
a
also don't need.
choice.
They don't need to drink and eat anything. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Like maybe
No, but
remembers
that's
the.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just like a different
Yeah. Yeah.
way it could have gone. So yeah, it doesn't fit with the skeletons we've described here.
I just
Um,
realized there is a huge paint economy on that island. because they need to repaint their eyebrows every time they shower.
Every time there's just like the dye traders are just all about Skeleton Island. They just make a full-time living
Yes, and that's
importing dyes.
yeah, that's outsiders. So it's not skeletons, but it's outsiders that sell that to them.
That makes sense. It's the most sensible thing I've heard in a while, actually. And then the other idea I had was that people like there was some kind of evil skeleton overlord who was taking over an island, right? And many people, and he was gonna, if he had taken over this island and gotten the relic or whatever, the world would be in great peril. And like most of the people fled, but some stayed, and they were able to defeat the evil lich skeleton lord, but at the price of being turned into skeletons themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all actually like the most heroic good guys who stayed behind and risked their lives to save the rest of the world. But now they're just skeletons forever. And so they kind of just built a community and, uh, just kind of living out eternity, doing
Um,
whatever. But they're ready to come to the call of the aid if there's another. And that's where you could have another adventure where the adventurers
mhm.
actually are those skeletons. And then you're like called to save the world again.
I feel like that's part of the multiverse. Um, it sounds really
There
cool.
you go.
Um, but for this island, something similar that could happen is like there was this time D&D type of skeleton, right? That was rising and became an overlord, and these skeletons who were supposed to follow him was like, dude, you can't even talk. Like, why should we follow you? And it was like this guy just tried to like take over the island, and it was just like bombarded with like jokes and everything, and he just left.
So he was like the like the least popular skeleton, but he tried to become the skeleton overlord.
Yeah, but he came from another island just to take it over or something. Or he wasn't affected by the curse or something. Something like this. But yeah, so basically he's a normal skeleton in that sense, right? While these are all like for this island normal skeletons, and he was a D&D skeleton, so he couldn't say anything. He was kind of brain dead a bit. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, he was just like trying to take it over and make them kneel before him, and they were just like, "Dude, why?"
oh my gosh!
uh,
He's
yeah, I
It's
don't know.
hard to respect skeletal overlords.
This island feels so ridiculous.
No,
uh,
it is, man. Um, it absolutely is.
mm,
But so how would this? So, but it fits into the world, I guess. It still kind of holds
yes.
to the rules,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
All right, and next time we need to build the island where the skeletons are the bad guys.
Oh, it was just like a neighboring island.
I don't know. We will find out, I guess. But I always
I
said
guess we
like that's what I
will.
like about this world. Like on one island, the skeletons can be the bad guys, on the next they can be the good guys. So now we built the good guy
True.
skeleton island. So now they need to be there needs to be a bad guy island.
All right, legit. I'm going to I want to show you the progress I've made and
Mm-hmm.
ask one very important question that changes everything
Okay.
for this painting. So let's see, how can I come and share my screen and then we can wrap up?
Mm-hmm.
Is oops, I think one thing that I've realized, so I'm starting to do this Hearthstone style art and
Uh huh.
glowing eyeballs are a
Ooh.
big theme, a recurring theme, right?
Okay.
So this fella has his glowing eyeballs, and I think the big question is, what color is the glow? So let's put something in here, and then we can play with the hue and saturation.
I would say it's a bit like heterochromia. So you have
What are you talking about? Okay, I don't know what that means.
it's I don't know, I only know the German name, and I roughly translated it,
Ooh.
but it's the mutation in the eye that makes one have a different eye color than the other.
Isn't it hexachromia?
Oh, So they're just like people, where skeletons in this island can have all different eye colors.
Yeah, and maybe this one has two eye colors, and then it would
This
fit
one
into
has
the
two.
that would fit into this ridiculous scheme of that island. Just
Okay. All
like
right.
the
Will, you choose a color, and Phil, you choose a color. What are your two colors?
Purple.
and I go
Purple is a fine
random
choice.
color generator.
Of course you do.
It's like a golden yellowish.
Okay, let's find a golden yellowish.
I just found the best random color generator. It's just a site that has like one background color over the whole screen, and it's just like the randomized color. It doesn't tell you anything. It's just a color. It's amazing.
Just a random color.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
All right, you guys, there it is.
This looks so cool though.
Looks, does it? You like the two colors?
Mm-hmm.
Will, you want to weigh in?
Definitely.
That's cool.
All right. You got my work cut out for me. Well, that was cool, you guys. We've created the skeleton island town skeleton. I don't know what we called it at this point, but
It's
it worked
the
out quite
skeleton
well.
island, and next time we build Skeleton, which is the bad one, or the
Okay. All right. That's cool. I like the skeletons, the bad guy.
All right,
All right, y'all. Thanks for
cool.
tuning in.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And yeah, peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.
All right, take care. Bye.
Yeah.